And so we sent our officers. We had thought that it would go the way that most of our issues had gone on the tribe, with strained relations and distrust on both sides. It ended up going incredibly smoothly. Because of the relationships that we put in place, I was able to call the chairman of the tribe. He had officers meet them immediately. They were able to take joint statements, and it ended up working out very well, very nicely. And we've had repeatedly over and over on joint prosecutions and investigations where there is no longer tension when we go on the tribe, and we're working with the tribe so that when we have serious things like murders in our counties and different issues, we can work so smoothly with the tribe. And prior to my taking office, when I say that we had problems, we were sued every time. It resulted in litigation pretty much. If there was an incident with the tribe and officers went onto the tribal ground, it resulted in a big lawsuit or threatened litigation. That no longer happens. They were able to make a phone call and talk to them, and really what they wanted was just the respect of acknowledging, this is our land, this is your land, give us a call and talk to us. And that goes across all of the facets that we're working with, but especially on our criminal cases where we need immediate action. We can call them up, and with a phone call, they allow us to come on to investigate jointly, and so it's not a fight. We've had that. We also had an incident on our corner end where we had a young gentleman that was killed in a kayaking accident. Some are floating in the river, one was in a kayak, and again, on tribal ground. And so what has happened in the past is it's been a bit of a fight, and whose jurisdiction are you on, and it hasn't gone well. This time, we were able to quickly put in a response to recover that body, and you had tribal officers and non-tribal officers and rescue staff working jointly, side by side, with no problems. And those are the kind of things that in the community that really, I think I'm most proud of. It's not a win, who did we put away, who did my administration put away, or even when I was a deputy prosecutor, what trial did I win? It's more, I'm most proud of the relationships that we're building and the ability to bring people together and work in harmony, and we're working out in ways that are better for our community. In the fire as well, we were able to work very well with each other. They donated things that we needed, we donated things for them, and it's a new, I think, era of understanding and mutual aid, which has been very much needed in this county, and it's been very beneficial for the county.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Those are great answers.
So we've been going for about an hour, and we decided that we were going to be kind of loose with the timing, but we were going to look at an hour to no more than 90 minutes. So
we're down to one bar on the camera.
And we're down to one bar on the camera.
Oh,
so
that might be fair.
We'll wrap it up very quickly, but I wanted to make sure that you each got an opportunity to bring up anything that hasn't been brought up yet that you wanted to be sure that you brought up. In closing.
Go ahead, I went first.
Or anything you would like to say in particular on this occasion.
I think that we're in a very unique community. I think it's made up of a vast framework of different ideas, philosophies. We have the tribe, we have cattlemen and ranchers, we have a lot of areas that you really have to understand those lifestyles and what those people do. I think I bring an understanding that is unique and can really understand where those people are coming from. And I'm able to bring people together and work on that. And in forging those relationships, we're making a stronger community. And it is very important. And simply prosecuting cases is not the job of the elected prosecutor. There is discretion, but there's so much more to the office. And bringing in exceptional prosecutors like we have to try the high-profile litigators, litigators that are not one or two felony cases, 50, 60, 70 felony cases. They're excellent trial litigators. That is what they do. And I think it's important as a manager that you bring in the most qualified people to do every single job. As an attorney, you're not going to be able to do everything. And everyone brings to the table different qualities. And it's the job of the elected prosecutor to blend those qualities and recruit those qualities and bring them to the table and understand the entire breadth of the job and the responsibilities, from the Gorge Commission issues to the wind issues, to the tax appeal issues. There's just so much to it, and I think that my opponent frankly lacks the understanding of what it takes to be the elected officer.
Well, I didn't hear anything new. I guess the invitation is for a summary. And so I think the facts are the facts. That folks aren't being held accountable in this county. That we have a deterioration in the criminal justice system that has led to dramatically negative results for the community at large. When you have violent offenders and people that are having obvious methamphetamine problems immediately released from jail because, as admitted by my opponent's office, that they feel overwhelmed and can't keep people incarcerated. We have a situation where accountability is not occurring. And that's why I'm running, because I am also, contrary to the belief of my opponent and her family, a resident and citizen of this county and very concerned. And that's why I'm running. I don't believe we have a situation where the voters in the community should support a renewal of another 4 years of someone that doesn't believe in evaluating the performance of her office and doesn't believe in working and coordinating with law enforcement to hold people accountable. And frankly, that has a casual acceptance of rumors and innuendos and misrepresentations as a way of behaving personally and of running a campaign. This does not reflect the values of our community, and I hope on November 4th that the community and the voters will demonstrate that. Every person with decent interpersonal skills is able to obtain staff and deal with staffing issues. To say there was anything particularly unique about the current staff, I believe, again, it's not accurate. My understanding is the chief deputy had no experience as a prosecutor before she came into the office. And the other deputy right now, had more experience as a defendant than as an attorney in the state of Washington, as in the courts of Washington. So to hide behind a staff and to admit that there's and I still haven't heard an explanation whether it's an unwillingness or inability to appear in court to help the team. There's only 4 attorneys in the office. To have the team leader, to have the executive not be willing to consider the necessity of staying in the county and not traveling repeatedly, of appearing in court and helping alleviate the burden on what has been admittedly in multiple articles and appearances, an overwhelmed staff apparently. That's been the explanation for the highest dismissal rates. That was your explanation in the Goldendale Forum as to why you had the highest dismissal rates, because the staff was overwhelmed. At the Lyle Community Council, they said they were overwhelmed, taking as for granted that we don't have an executive that can help the team, hold people accountable. And that's positive change I am offering. My qualifications and my willingness to lead a team and be hands-on and hold people accountable, work with the bar, work with the judiciary, with law enforcement support, to bring about, again, the highest dismissal rates, the longest case delays, and the lowest convictions in the state of Washington.
Okay, I have a final question. Go ahead. And this is one of the.
Do I get a tight rebuttal or no?
I think we'll just go with this one, because we've heard lots of it. And this is the hardest question we're going to ask tonight. I want each of you to say something nice about your opponent.
Oh, I think that Ms. Hoctor, and I do very strongly believe in her devotion and the love of her family and the support that her family has shown. You don't appear without, I think, between 4 and 6 and 7 members of your family with you. And I think that, one of the things it states is an impressive devotion to your family. I'm sure it wouldn't be reciprocated by them trying to help and support you otherwise. I think it's an extremely admirable trait. But it shouldn't define sufficient condition for being a prosecutor.
Last word from Lord.
I think the question was something nice, and my opponent is unable to do that. And again, the inaccuracy conspiracies abound. Your perceptions are quite jaded, and I don't think I've ever had 4 of my family members, but that's an inability for you to understand who's in the community, and who actually is related to who, or at, I think even observe who's at the events. I will say that, and I will answer the question, because the question was, could you say something nice without being rude or condescending? I believe that Mr. Quesnel really does want the job as prosecuting attorney.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you, for your time, we appreciate it. Give us about a day or so